about the car?
This is a 2018 Porsche 991.2 GT3.
Okay, solid. And are we in sport mode?
Yep, sports everything.
Okay.
But traction control on.
Is there a halfway, like a sport traction?
I think this is already halfway.
Okay. So
it has a PASM, that's aftermarket.
Full mod list as always down in the description. First time driving a GT3 on track. Very excited because this is a car that I have loved on the street. This is my buddy Peter, who used to have a G80, and we've reviewed his G80 on the channel previously as well.
is everything stock?
Except for the brakes and the rotors.
Okay. What pads are you running?
Pagid.
Okay. Those are popular.
Yeah.
How we doing?
Good.
Good. Go for it.
Thanks.
Keep in mind, when I'm driving other people's cars on track, I'm not going for lap times. We're not going to use the berms. We're going to keep it easy, but still dial up the intensity so that we can get the driving dynamics feel.
This is one of my dream cars.
It's really good.
Wow, it's fucking loud.
It is really, really loud.
It's actually so loud because of the triple bypass that even with earplugs, it's distracting. We're at Spring Mountain Motorsports Ranch, Charleston Peak Course. One of my favorites.
Wow, I love the brake feel, super solid.
You'll notice as well, with these newer generation PDK Porsches, especially in the GTs, the GT3, GT4 RS, etc., they are so sharp with the shifts, so instantaneous, so perfect. 9,000 RPM redline, incredible engine. Now the McPherson strut front suspension is theoretically inferior to the double wishbone of the 992 generation GT3. But they've set this up so well that you're not really washing out to understeer at corner entry or mid-corner. Oops, accidentally shifted into fifth, back to fourth. Already a little bit of trail braking getting the tail out. I absolutely adore how lively the 991 GT3 is. Lively yet also competent and incredibly fast. Easy on all the braking zones. First lap, I like to take it a little easy, get the car warmed up before we start pushing it a little bit harder lap after lap. The solidity with modern Porsche GT cars is just second to none. They're just such a joy when you're pushing them on the track. Don't have to baby them, don't have to worry about them. Yet again on braking, and that's one of those things that as you get to know a car better, and you're not just on the second lap or first full lap of it on track, you can actually use it to your advantage and get it to dance with you, get it to rotate as you enter a corner and mid-corner. With that rear engine, in the 991 generation, it's not so severe or so extreme that you feel the front get light like with a 997 and especially a 996 if you get too early on the throttle at corner exit. Yet it's still a car that feels rear engine in character. A large part of that being the necessity to trail brake as you enter a corner. And just feeling that mass, that pendulous booty is what I call it, moving the car around, which you can feel even on street in the canyons as you're pushing it, as you can see in that prior review that we did with the 991 GT3. Really love that car. And again, you're gonna see at a lot of these points, repeat corners here, that I'm having to catch the tail ever so slightly, getting a little bit of rotation. And that to me is actually what I want in a track car, something that is incredibly capable and fast like this car is, but also engaging to drive. The Caymans, they have McPherson strut in all four corners, including the GT3 RS, which is a limitation. Whereas the 911s, they have multi-link in the rear, which is a large advantage. And of course, with the 992, braking a bit aggressively in an unusual spot there, caught me off guard slightly, but the 992 GT3 with the double wishbone and the way that they keep moving the engine and tuning the chassis so that it feels less and less rear-engined, I'd be very curious to see how that compares to the 991.2 GT3 out on track. This whole time, although I wish in hindsight that I just put it in auto at one point and just to see how the shift logic deals with track driving. Violent shifts, as you can see, with the shaking of the camera on upshifts. Which is fun. I have no problem with that. Getting a little wiggle. Being lighter at just a little bit over 3,100 pounds also is a huge advantage on track. There are other cars that are 4,000 pounds or the high 3,000s that are capable on track, not to the same degree, but the weight is just such a hindrance in acceleration and cornering and in braking out on track. Tail wanting to come out.
Holy shit, dude! What a f***ing car!
Yeah. And I'll be yelling even when the car isn't that loud just because I'm wearing a full face Stilo helmet and a head sock. Want to make sure that you guys can hear me as well as the passenger. We're gonna call it early, low on fuel, the run group's about to end.
It's so much faster as a passenger.
Dude, this car fucking rips, dude. Is this exhaust stock? This can't be stock.
What?
The exhaust is not stock.
No, it bypasses all three mufflers.
Okay, that's why it's so fucking loud.
Yeah, it's basically a straight pipe, but it still keep the catalyst.
Wow, dude. It's like, it's too loud actually. Even with earplugs, you're like,
Yeah,
fuck.
it's really, really loud. Like, I can't even concentrate without earplugs. It's too loud.
Jesus.
But with the earplugs, it's not bad.
I find it too loud even with earplugs.
Dude, this thing is awesome to drive. It's still, you know, Caymans are almost too clinical.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, you saw multiple times the tail wants to come out with trail braking.
It's very easy to come out, dude.
It's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. Like, when I switched from the M3 to this, I couldn't figure out why I was spinning, like, coming out so much, right? But that's because I accelerated too early out of a turn. But now I know, like, I'm learning more of this car now.
Dude, this must be, how does this feel going from a G80 M3 to this?
It's like going from, like, dude, I tell my wife all the time, when I go back home and drive my G80, it feels like I'm like a big Mercedes or like a Cadillac.
Yeah. And the G80 is it handles its weight very well for what it is.
Yeah.
But still, you get on a proper sports car.
It's 4,000 pounds. It's
totally
like
different
800 pounds heavier than this.
The M3, I think, is 39, right? And this is like
3950, yeah, it's the X-Drive.
Oh, is it closer to 4?
Yeah. And this is like 3150.
Yeah. Dude, this is a sick car to drive. The brakes are so solid, so confidence inspiring. The power, like, you have to be careful with the throttle, otherwise the tail's gonna come out.
So easily, yeah.
And you can dial it in to get a little bit of rotation mid-corner, right? And then trail braking, like turn 9, that left-hander, the first 2 laps I totally missed it because I was trying to manage the oversteer on trail braking.
Yeah.
And then that 3rd lap I finally got the corner. But that's part of the fun with this, man.
Yeah.
You have the engine in the back. Oh man, dude. Please don't get rid of this, dude. I know you're considering replacing it. It's so good. It's so good.
Well, when the 992 drops in price, if it's around 200, I'm gonna get it.
Oh, if you want to go 992, I support that. I thought you wanted to go for something else, like a Corvette.
Z06 is very good too, but it's hard to...
My friends, let me know what you think of the 991.2 GT3 with a comment down below. If you want your car reviewed, visit us on jabalandcars.com, fill out the form on the homepage, and I'll be in touch. Much love, my friends, and I'll see you all in that next one.